Hi, good morning.
How are you?
Good, good. Thank you.
All right, and I see Floor. Hey, Floor.
Hi, teacher. Good morning.
How are you?
Hi, everyone. Thank you.
All right. Well, everybody, let's get started. So, welcome to our last class for the summer 2023 session. So, we're glad you're here. I know we're excited, right? We're ready for the for the last day. Now, of course, classes will continue next week, so it's not really a break too much. But anyway, today is our last day of the summer. So, of course, we always like to review things that we've learned during the session. So, guys, we learned 3 new expressions this session, and we're going to take some time to review those expressions. So, look at these pictures. Look at these pictures. I used these pictures to help us when we were learning our new expressions. So, in just a moment, we're going to see what you remember. Right? Now, you probably think, Mr. John, I don't remember what I did yesterday. That's what happens when we get old. We forget things. But we'll see if you remember our 3 expressions. So our greetings activity is going to be a review activity. We're going to review those 3 expressions, do some practice with our neighbors, and then we're going to, again, kind of finish our topic about the health lesson and do some vocabulary review. Finally, we'll do one more sort of partner activity. And then we'll talk about the fall schedule. Okay, guys. So again, as I said before, today is our final day of the summer 2023 session. So we will review the 3 expressions we introduced throughout the session. So first, we're going to review those definitions. So guys, please help me. Okay, so see if you can help me remember what are the missing words in these expressions. All right, so everyone, let's take a look at the first one. So we said this expression means to be in good condition, usually regarding health and physical fitness, or to become better in better health and fitness. So who can remember the missing word here? In what?
In shape.
Congratulations, Floor. You are in shape for English class. All right, very good. So when we are in shape or we try to get in shape, we said, of course, we can use this for our physical condition. So again, you see the people here in this picture, right? They're doing yoga. But maybe you like to do some other kinds of exercises to get in shape. Now, remember, we said we could use this expression not just for physical activity, but also thinking about maybe our work situation or maybe our house. I'm looking at my house right now. My house is not in good shape. My house needs to be cleaned always. So maybe your house is in better shape than my house, right? So I know some of you like that, right? But me, I don't need to worry about it. All right, so guys, our first expression again was in shape or to get in shape. All right, let's see if you can remember the next expression. This expression meant to do something with a lot of intensity. Like with exercise, we try to go as fast and as hard as we can. Bo, do you remember the missing word here? To go?
All out.
Very good. I heard 2 or 3 people there. To go all out. Very good. So again, we can do all out. We can go all out with exercise. We can go all out with our work. You know, maybe you like to go all out. Maybe when you clean the house, you go all out. I do not. Maybe you even go all out before a party, right? Maybe you have lots of food and preparing for your guests. So, but when we exercise, if we go all out, we go as fast and as hard as we can. All right, guys. Last one. This was one we did last week. We said this one came from baseball, maybe. So to face or deal with one's responsibility. What do you think, Barbara?
To step up.
Very good, Barbara. You stepped up, Barbara. Congratulations. Excellent. All right. So when we step up, if you remember, we said last week, maybe this expression comes from baseball. right? To step up to the plate. Now, the plate does not mean the food plate, right? It means baseball, the home plate. So in this case, the home plate is here in baseball, right? So when we step up, we try to meet or deal with responsibility or challenges by working harder, okay? Now, in just a moment, we're going to practice with these expressions one more time, and we're going to answer an important question. So let's take a look first at our activity. So in just a moment, you're going to practice these expressions with the partner, and then there's a discussion question. So it's basically just one big question, okay? So I'm not going to show you the question, but let's look at the two dialogues that you're going to practice. So the first dialogue is selling the house. So maybe you're ready to sell your house. So in this dialogue, they're trying to sell a house. And then in dialogue number 2, graduation night. Maybe you can remember your graduation, right? Graduating from high school or college. And then finally, there is one discussion question. And this one discussion question uses all of our new expressions. All right, so guys, here's what we're going to do. We're going to go into the breakout room and practice these dialogues with our partners. So let's get our rooms ready. All right, let's see. Okay. All right. Okay, so guys, looks like our rooms are ready. One group will have 3 and the others will have 2 in their room. So for the group of 3, you can practice the dialogue maybe 2 times. So I might recommend practicing the dialogues 2 times anyway, right? One person can be A, one person can be B, and then you can switch. I've included the expressions again in case you want to review them one more time. But the idea is we'll take some time, practice with a partner. All right, guys, we're going to go into the breakout rooms. I will come in and share the link to the activity. All right, everyone, here we go. All right, people are returning, so I thought we would take a few minutes and talk about our big discussion question. So I'm going to wait for everyone to return. All right, I think just about everyone is back. All right, well, guys, I had one discussion question for this morning, and it uses all of our expressions. So let's look at the discussion question again. So do you think this will be the year that you go all out and keep trying to improve your English? So what are some things we're going to do to step up and get our English in shape? Well, let's hear from some people in the class. So guys, what are we going to do to step up and get our English in shape? Let's hear it. What are some things we're going to do?
May I
All right,
try?
Patrick. Yeah. Tell us, Patrick, what are you going to do to get in shape with your English?
Like I said earlier, just try to have a conversation with my neighborhood,
Good,
with
good.
my colleagues. You know, English is like all the other language, native language or country's language or other kind of language. You know, with the language, the first thing you have to try to do is just practice.
That's right.
More you practice, more you improve yourself, more you get your language in shape.
That's right.
So if
That's
it's
right.
English, that's a good way to step up and just
I see Patrick's using all of the expressions. I love it. That's
to
right.
get your English in shape. So yeah. Yes.
Well, see, Patrick, I think that's good advice for everyone here in the class, because I think sometimes, and I know, I understand, when I was learning Spanish, you know, my Spanish was not very good. I was nervous. I was embarrassed to make mistakes. But in a way, practicing with language is like exercise. We have to keep doing it. In the beginning, it will be very difficult, right? We don't begin being professionals. We don't begin being, perfect. We have to just keep trying, because that's the idea, Patrick. We're going to make mistakes. It's natural, right? But that's the only way we're going to get in shape, is to keep trying. So I love it. That's a great way to put it. All right. Anyone else have any suggestions? So what are some other things we can do to help us get our English in shape. So talking to our neighbors, talking to our colleagues at work or coworkers. What else, guys? What else can we do to get our English in shape?
Mr. John, reading book,
Good.
magazine, listen the news.
That's good.
Maybe. I
Mhm.
like NPR news.
You're good.
Sometimes
Maybe-
I don't understand all the concept, but I try.
Well, and certainly, Julie, one thing you can do is listen to the news on the website, because many times they will include the transcript, like you can see the words too.
The problem is I listen when I was to work.
Yeah, well, that's still very good, though. I think that's still very helpful. And of course, reading. If we have children, we can practice reading with our children. So even reading kids' books can be very helpful, right? So that can be a good
Yes,
thing too.
yes, every night. Yeah.
Good. That's good. I think that's a great way. All
I
right.
think reading is very important, even
Yeah.
if this for kids or books for kids. But I think books for kids will learn a lot of words, lots of phrases, lots of expression, because they are made like to make children knows some expressions. So
Absolutely.
good for us.
Yeah, and actually, Amal, another thing to think about, not just children's books, but I'll put this in the chat. There's also a big category of books called young adult books. These are books that are probably for, let's say, 13 to maybe 16 or 17-year-olds. Those are also, I think, perhaps a good area where students can practice reading as well. Now, of course, we do some practice reading in class, but I think kids' books can be helpful if we're reading with our children.
Dr. Sul, it's very good.
Yeah. And I think that's why, just reading something, that's, I think, important for everyone to understand. Reading something every day can be helpful. And we're going to certainly do some more reading in our class this session. All right. Any other suggestions? Watching TV, listening to the radio, talking to people? Any other advice or recommendations for us to get our English in shape? Go ahead, Edie.
I have one, Mr. John. I think for those who don't have a partner that can help to practice English, like me, as Francophone, we speak French at home.
Right.
At home, and all I do, I ask people. And I did that. I experienced that yesterday. When I went out with my son, and I've met another parent. I just say, "Hey, hi, sir. I know that we don't know each other, but I'm not selling anything. I just want to practice English."
I like that. Not a salesman.
Yeah, he was so happy.
Good. That's good.
I love English. It's my second language. I want to just speak English. I'm from Africa. I'm here to answer all the questions you have about where I'm from.
Okay.
And
I like the attitude. Okay.
Yeah, it's what I do. And it works. Now I can talk to people.
Edie, I think Americans are generally very friendly about that.
Yeah.
I think they are. I mean, some people are not, but most of the time, I think so. But I like that. I'm not a salesman. I like that. So everyone, maybe that's a good recommendation. I'll put that in the chat.
Okay.
So
I have a question, Mr. John, about the expression to step up. I know that it comes from baseball, but I want to ask you a question. Based in the context of work, professional context.
Sure.
Let's say after I gain experience in my field, and I don't want to start from an entry-level position. So a recruiter asks me a question about an entry-level position. Can I use this? For example, say, no, I don't want an entry-level. I want to step up because I have gained experience in this field.
Now, that's a great question. I think what I would say, Edie, is I would say something like, I want to move up.
Yeah.
Or I think move up might be a stronger expression. Step up kind of is more like, I'm doing something right now and I need to increase my intensity.
Okay.
So like if I'm working on a project and I need to finish this project, I might say, my boss might say, okay, Edie, you need to step up and finish this. So it's more about just increasing your intensity with this thing you're doing right now. So I think for you, if you're thinking about moving up, you want to move up, you want to go to the next level, I think moving up is probably a more common expression. So, but still, it's kind of the same idea, but I think move up might be the
It's
expression.
better. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Well, listen, guys, of course, I'm going to take just a moment to say to everyone, English class is a good place to be, okay? But I do want to say to everyone, English class is not enough, okay? I know, you're probably thinking, Mr. John, we need more English class. But again, I want you to think about your schedules. You're busy. You've got kids. Some of you are working. I know you want to study more English, but it is hard. It's hard to come and have classes, many, many hours a day. We're not in school anymore, right? We have responsibilities. So I just want to make clear to everyone, of course, English class is a good place to be. It's a good place to learn, but it's not enough. We need to talk to our neighbors. We need to talk to people on the street. We need to watch TV or listen. It is an important thing. It's much like exercise. The more we do it, the better we can be. But just remember, we're going to make mistakes. It's going to happen. We're going to make mistakes. That's natural. All right. My Spanish, for example, is still not perfect. I've been speaking Spanish and I was a Spanish teacher, but I still make mistakes. It's going to happen. Okay. So that all I can say to everyone is something that I like to say to students all the time, and I'll put it in the chat. Okay. So everyone, look at this. This is very important. Don't be perfect. Be better. Okay, so listen to me again. Don't be perfect, be better. So if you try to be perfect, if you want to be perfect, you will never be perfect, right? It'll never happen. Now, I know some of you say, Mr. John, I'm already perfect, right? I'm a perfect person. No. Well, what I'm trying to say is if you think you're trying to be perfect, that will never happen. You'll never be happy or satisfied. So what I tell students, don't be perfect, just be better. Try to just learn something new every day. That's important because now our brains, our minds are thinking in a more positive way. When we want to be perfect, we only think about the negative things. Oh, I can't do this or I can't do this. So everyone, just be better. That's it. Just try to be better every day. That's all I can tell you. Okay, so everyone, I hope that helps us and gives us motivation to continue. In fact, motivation, that's a word we're talking about in this session. So why don't we return to the presentation and we'll pick up from there. All right. Well, guys, this session we have been practicing with vocabulary from the Let's Get in Shape, the Getting in Shape lesson. So what I thought we would do here this morning is we would do some activities together, and then we would finish with an activity with our neighbors. So first, let's do a little vocabulary review for this session. Now, as I mentioned before, I'm going to share this document with you when we're finished. So I'm going to highlight some words from this list, and then we're going to answer some questions here as a group. And we can discuss these questions with each other, but the idea is I want to get answers first. But let's take a look at some vocabulary words. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and change to our document. So let me do that right now. Okay. Now, as I said before, when we're finished with the document, I am going to share it with us. But let's take a look at some of the words from the list, and I'd like to highlight a couple of words that we have not talked about yet. And then when we're finished here this morning, we'll go back and review the pronunciation of all of these words. So, for example, let's take a look at category number 1 here, vocabulary list number 1. So it says the very first one here is the expression check out. Check out. So if you notice, I've given a definition for this one. When we check something out, we try to look at something to see what it is. Now, we can use this expression in different ways, but if we check something out, often we try to look at it before we buy it or before we use it. So in just a moment, we're going to practice with some questions, and we're going to use this particular expression. So when we check something out, right, we take a look at it. So maybe if I want to say, oh, you've got a new phone, let me check your phone out. Like, let me take a look at it. Let me see what there is on this phone. So in this case, when we check something out, right, we take a look and see what it is, what's good about it, what's bad about it. Maybe we check things out before we buy it. All right, so that'll be a question we'll answer here in just a moment. Now, I'm going to turn it over to you guys for just a moment, and I need your help with a few more expressions. For example, let's talk about strength training. Strength training. Can somebody help us with this definition? You can use the mic or the chat. Who could help us with this? What does it mean when we say strength training? Who could help us with this? What do we do with strength training? Anybody have a thought?
Is training hard?
Okay, training hard. Okay, that's a good start. But specifically, Carmen, what do we do to get strength? So why don't we start with the word strength? Where does the word strength come from, Carmen? Do you know this word?
Yes.
Yeah, strength means make it strong.
Strong. So this is one of those kind of crazy words in English, right? So let's remind us that strength and strong are this kind of coming from the same word. So, all right. Strong is the adjective form of strength. All right, so Carmen, I'll come back to you for a moment, Carmen. So how can I get strong? What can I do, Carmen? What do you think?
It's strong training.
Well, what can I do? What are some things to do to make me strong?
You can lift weight.
Lift.
All right, well, Carmen said lift. Edie said lift weights. Okay. All right. Let me change the size here. It's a little big. There we go. Okay.
Go all out.
Well, do we go all out with lifting weights? Do you lift as much as you can every time? How about we say lift weights to make us strong? Okay. Now, you're right. Lifting weights is maybe not the only way. There could be other ways to make us strong, but let's use that as our definition. Okay, so we lift weights to make us strong. All right, so if we have strength training, what about aerobic exercise? Is aerobic exercise the same thing as strength training, or is it different? Can someone help us with this one?
It's different.
It's I can say it's a little similar. I don't know.
Well, let's see. Barbara said it's different. Barbara, tell us first. What do you think, Barbara?
Yeah, running or bike. Or, I don't know.
So, for example, aerobic, what could we say? Aerobic might help what? What part of my body is this?
The heart.
Okay, so maybe aerobic exercise helps what?
Cardio.
Cardio.
Cardio. Oh, yeah.
Cardio.
Do we like cardio, by the way, guys? Are we cardio? Do we like cardio?
The cardio is
I
very
like
good
cardio.
because with cardio you work all your body.
Uh, But Mr. Jones,
Yeah.
not
ma'am.
only
No.
yeah, your
Hold on, let's see.
heart,
Julie, go ahead.
yeah, your heart is good because you so need stress for your heart. It's quite quickly.
Okay.
But you work your muscle too, and then it's for all the body. It's the best. And
So-
you is strong all the muscle too.
So aerobic exercise works all of my body.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
It's the same when you when you work with lifting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lifting.
You work only the zone area, the muscles. You need to work for different.
Oh.
Yeah.
So strength training helps maybe certain muscle groups if I work
Ex-
certain muscles.
Exactly.
but
Yeah.
aerobic exercise might work my whole body.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow. Okay. So
We said that low resistance and high repetition. So for
wow,
you-
Amal, you sound professional here. Wow. I like it.
it's for the elder.
Oh, that's right. I forgot. That's for the
Wait.
older people. I got you.
We are only, may I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Patrick.
We are also talking about physical strength. What about mental?
Now, this is interesting. Of course, you know, Patrick, many people think there is a strong connection if we exercise that it might help our mental well-being. What do you think? What do you think about that, Patrick? Do you think exercise helps our mental thinking?
Yes, exercise, but we have to think about yoga. It's a spiritual training.
Ah, so maybe some
But-
meditation might help?
Exactly.
I think that's a
You
great
know,
point.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's a great point. Do you like to do some meditation?
Yeah, it's good.
I think meditation can be
But-
helpful. Yeah.
But in yoga or meditation, you have to be
Meditation is
concentrate.
different. Meditation, you need to stay quiet. and
Of course,
silent.
that's yeah. So of course,
Exactly.
we've got yoga, and then we've got something different, right? Meditation.
Yeah,
is where-
yoga is better. It's like the how you mentioned the aerobic. It's like because you work all the muscles.
I think yoga can be certainly yoga can be very aerobic. I know some people do like hot yoga, you know, stuff that stretches and you know that kind of thing. So that's true. But I do agree, Patrick. I think meditation is perhaps something a little different, but perhaps necessary. So interesting point. Maybe we can do yoga. Maybe we should do some meditation here in class. What do you think, guys? Should we?
I think meditation is part of yoga.
Could be. Certainly, there are
Yeah,
different kinds of yoga.
Yoga.
Yeah.
I think it's different, but it is not in the discussion now. But it's different because about meditation, you need to stay yourself. If you work with yourself, it's the time you stay alone with you.
Well, certainly different kinds of medication are more isolated. Yes, that's true. That's true. So maybe you think we can't meditate together? Julie, can we meditate now? Oh,
Yeah, we can meditate, but you stay alone when if you are separate. We stay together in the same time, but
Okay.
we stay in our brain
So we
inside.
can't meditate here in our class right now.
Yes, I think.
You think so?
Yeah.
All right, let's try it. Ready? Home. Home. I feel better. There you go. Of course, don't take a nap, right? Sometimes when people meditate, they might want to go to sleep. That's one of our expressions, right? Taking a nap. By the way, who can help us with that expression, taking a nap? What does it mean to take a nap?
Sleep.
Well, what's the difference between a nap and sleep?
Small sleep, like small
Taking
sleep.
up is
Well-
something quickly.
Quick. So perhaps how long?
Yeah,
How long
the
should we?
different
15,
the
15
difference is the
minutes.
time. Yeah,
15 minutes.
10, 5.
5 minutes? You can nap for 5 minutes?
Yeah.
Is that?
If you
Are you
if
sure?
you feel really tired, yeah, 5 minutes. But the scientific say that the best time is almost 15 minutes.
My clock is broken, so I don't know if I can do it for 5 minutes. So that's
It's
pretty
like
short.
Siesta or
A siesta.
siesta.
Well, I think most experts say that 30 minutes would be the maximum. I think 15 is probably perfect, but I don't know, 30 minutes is probably the maximum amount of time. I'd like to talk about one more word this morning, and then we're going to just review the pronunciations of all of these expressions. Now, everyone, let's talk about this word here. Did everyone see it here on the screen? I've highlighted it. I mentioned that in English, there are many words that often have different pronunciations depending on their meaning. So what I'd like to do is I'm going to switch over for just a moment to a little whiteboard. Let's talk about this word right here. Okay, so I'm going to highlight this word. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to jump over to my whiteboard and talk for just a moment about this particular word. Now, English has many words that fit into this category, and that is words that have different pronunciations depending on their meaning. So everyone take a look here on my screen. So let's talk about this word, and part of it will also depend on how many syllables a word has. Now, I'm not going to introduce this topic today, but I might talk more about it in our next session. Now, with many words in English that have 2 syllables, often you will see that they will have different pronunciations. So, for example, if I want to use the word as a noun, okay, so a noun, if you remember, is a thing. So, for example, we would pronounce it like this: record, record. Okay, so if I want to use it as a noun, I would pronounce it like this: record, record. Now, let's think of an example using this word. Okay, now, of course, there are many different kinds of records. For example, if I mentioned a document. So, for example, if I said, I have many records of identification, for example, or this building is where you can find the records of the government. So in these situations, we would emphasize the beginning of the word, records, records. Okay. So if I want to use the word as a noun, we would use the stress would be at the beginning of the word. Okay, so everyone, let's turn on our microphones. Let's practice this pronunciation. Okay, so everyone say this word with me: record.
Record.
Okay, so guys, let's say these 2 sentences. I have many records of identification.
I
I
have
have
many
many
record
record
of
identification.
This building is where you can find the records of the government.
This
This
building
building
is
is
where
where
you
you
can
find
find the
many
records
records.
of the government.
Okay. All right, and then finally, we think about records. Maybe some of you might remember some of the older people here in the class. Who are the old people, right? Maybe you might remember that records are also these things. So some of you may remember.
Ooh, vinyl.
Yeah. So we might call them vinyl records.
Vinyl. Yeah, vinyl.
I have many. I
You-
have.
All right. Yeah. Unfortunately, I have many as well.
It's a new like style. Everyone just buys a new vinyl.
That's right. Just go back and buy the new vinyl for the old stuff. Yeah. Well, yeah. So yeah, I have many records. So my wife is not so happy about that. But anyway, so yes, these were also called records. Yeah, some people might call them vinyl, or we might call them vinyl records. All right. Very good. Okay. Okay, so that's one meaning of the word record. But if I want to use the word as a verb, so let's talk about that meaning. I'm going to copy this and move it over to the next screen.
No quiero más. Ya no quiero más. Okay.
Hold on. All right, let's try this again. All right. Okay, so if we want to use it as an action, so as a verb to do something, right? Do something, then the pronunciation changes. It becomes record.
Record.
So, for example, this class, right now I am making a video of this class, a recording. I'm recording this class. Okay, so let's put that on the screen, and then we'll practice this pronunciation. Okay. So for example, Mr. John records the class on video. He is recording the class right now. So that way we can watch it later. All right, so everyone, let's practice this one. Turn on your microphones, everybody. Let's say this word together. Record.
Record. Record.
Record.
Mr. John records this class on video.
Mr.
Mr. John record
This class on
video.
video.
He is recording the class now.
Is
He
recording.
is
recording
recording
the
the class now.
All right, thank you guys. You can turn off your mics for just a moment. Now, there are many words in English that follow this same pattern. Words that have two syllables, that means we would clap 2 times, but the pronunciation would change depending on how we use the word. So, for example, with record, right? If it's a noun, we use record. If it's a verb, we would say record, right? Now, again, I'm not really going to introduce this topic here today. We'll talk, I think, more about it in our next session. But again, there are many words in English that follow this same kind of pattern. So the idea is you have to think about, how are we using the word? Am I using the word as a noun, like a thing? Or am I using the word like an action, like I'm doing something with this particular word? Now, again, this works for words that have 2 syllables. So that's the idea. The idea is it just depends on how we use the word. So the idea is with record and record, it just depends on how we're using it. So in this case, when we go back to our document, okay, so I'm going to stop sharing this one for a moment and return to our document. We will use both definitions on our list. So let me bring it back up here one more time. Now, as I said before, when I'm finished with our session, I will share this document with you. So again, to review one more time, if we use it as a noun, we pronounce it as record. Okay, so I'll put that here on the screen. So it's a noun, it's a record. And then as a verb, it is record. Okay, so I will mention that here. Okay. So in this case, a record is maybe a document or vinyl records. And then if we record something, that usually means we make some kind of memory of it. Whether we record something on paper, we record something on video, maybe we record something like music, right? So in this case, if you're a musician, you might maybe record a song for other people to listen to, okay? All right, so we have continued to add words to our list. Now, as I said before, our goal is to try to learn all of the words in this document. So I'm going to zoom out for just a moment. You will see that there's still a few words that we have not defined on the list, but I'm pretty sure most of you probably know these expressions already. So instead of going back and reviewing them, I'm going to have my evening class finish these particular definitions. But here's what I'd like for us to do right now. Okay, so everybody, no microphones. You can turn off your microphones for just a moment. But if you want to repeat these words with me one more time, I'm going to say them one more time. You can just practice them there at your phone or computer. And again, you don't have to turn on your microphone. But let's say these words together one more time. I'm going to start over here on the left side. Okay, so the word check out, download, fitness app, follow through, get in shape, motivated, strength training, aerobic exercise, cancel, connect with, cycling, end up. Okay, over on the right side, good for you, heart rate. Join a club. Likely. Muscle. Post. Raise. Okay, we have two. If you're using it as a noun, record. If you're using it as a verb, record. Take a nap. Willpower. Workout. Okay, now in just a moment, we're going to practice answering some questions using these words, but I'm going to zoom out one more time and see if anybody in the class has any questions at all about any of the vocabulary words we have looked at this session. So guys, do I have any other questions? Are there still some expressions that are maybe not so familiar to us, or maybe we need just a little bit more help in understanding? Take a moment and look here again at our list. Okay, are there any here that we need some help with? Okay. All right, so do we feel okay about these words? If so, you can give me a thumbs up or a little party emoji or something that lets me know that you feel pretty good about these words. But if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. All right, Bo.
Sorry, I made a mistake.
Oh, you're saying you're good with them. Okay. All right, anybody? Okay. Now, like I said, we will share these words when we're finished, but let's go ahead now and let's answer some questions. So for this activity, we're going to use the chat for this particular activity, but I am going to ask you to help me. And that is because I want some people here in the class to read these questions for us. So I'm going to stop sharing this screen and I'm going to bring back the presentation. And what I'd like to do now is let's practice answering some questions. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up some questions. Now, everyone, I would like for you to answer these in the chat. You do not have to write a complete sentence. You can just put an answer to the question. So, Bo, since you were making a mistake, an accident, you get to read the first one. So, Bo, read the first question for us.
Okay. What is something in life that takes a lot of willpower to do?
Okay, so guys, what is something in life that takes a lot of willpower to do? Now, I'll come up with an answer in the chat, but everyone, share your answer. Okay, so I'll come up with one example. So I said, for example, stopping smoking. Yeah, there you go. So Edie, you had the same idea, right? Now, it doesn't have to be just negative. It could be something good too. But what do you think, guys? What is something that takes a lot of willpower? Okay. Okay, Amal. I like that one. Okay. All right. Okay. Having a good dream. That's a good one. All right. Learning English, mastering a new language. It takes a lot of work, right? A lot of mental energy, and we want to do it. All right. Any other answers? Okay. I can think of a few more. There you go, Kaoru. That's a good one. That's hard. Oh, that is so hard to stop eating the sweet stuff. You know, Flor, that's a very interesting answer. Some people don't let life go and life flow. I like that. Yeah, I was going to say eating healthy. Yeah, that's a tough one. Yeah, but I like that one, Flor. I think that's a good one. Okay. All right. Okay. I think these are some good answers, but again, takes a lot of willpower to do things that we don't want to do, right? We don't want to stop eating sweets. We don't, or it also takes willpower to do good things, right? I think you know my answer, guys. This is my personal answer. This is mine. Cleaning the house. I don't want to do it. Yeah, I don't want to clean the house. I think it's just easier to buy a new house. That's what I think. Oh, that's a good one, Edie. Saving money. Oh, that's a really good one. Yeah, that takes a lot of willpower. I like it. All right. Okay, let's try the next question. All right, so let's take a look here. How about Flor? Would you like to read question number 2 for us?
Do you like to check something out before you buy it? How do you do it?
Okay, so guys, we mentioned checking out something, looking at it, taking a look at something. So guys, do we like to do that, and how do you do it? So for example, I like to do this. I really think this is helpful. One thing I like to do is watch YouTube. You know, YouTube, they have lots of those videos that show you about the product, something you're going to buy. They show you how to use it. Do other people here watch YouTube? Okay. All right. Amal has to check the truck. So Amal, do you actually like open the hood and check the oil and the gas? Do you check all that stuff?
Yeah, you have to check all the stuff. You have there's points you have to check.
Okay.
Tires.
Yeah, like a list, perhaps.
Yeah, lists.
Okay.
Tires, oil level, cool level. That's every day.
Every day. Yeah, that
Yeah.
takes a lot of discipline. Sure.
Yeah, and the routine too. You have
Yeah.
to have a same routine to check
Yeah.
all the stuff.
That's a great point. You have to have a routine. I like it. All right, Flor. So Flor, you have to check out the shoes. Really, Flor?
Yes, teacher. Every time I check before my shoes.
So do you buy your shoes in person or do you order them online?
No, online never.
Okay, so you like to go and touch it and feel,
Yeah.
do
Mhm.
this, yeah, try it on. I think shoes are, I think that's definitely a good.
Yes.
Same thing with clothes. Yeah. All right, so Carmen, you like to watch videos too, right? YouTube, is that your favorite place?
Yes.
So, for example, what are some things you watch YouTube to check out? Like, right,
2 weeks ago, I bought a machine for cleaning the carpet,
okay,
and I still watching videos about this, and I bought, and it works perfect.
okay. Now, Carmen, how many videos did you watch?
A lot,
Like 10?
maybe more.
So, Carmen, you're just like my wife. She will research and research and research and research, and I'll say, just buy it, just do it.
Yeah, but
Well-
it is a little expensive.
Well,
and-
that's true. That's true. Yeah.
We can return it if we didn't like it.
Well, that's
Yes,
And that's America, right, Amal?
Yeah.
You can buy and return it. That's so sad. There you
that's
go.
it.
Yeah, that's true. We make things easier. All right. So Edie says canned food. Oh, the expiration date. That's good, Edie. Some stores, they'll put things on the shelf, and you don't know. Is it going to expire? Okay. Julie says she bought it cheaper. So Julie, you like to compare, right? You like to look and find things, right?
Yeah, almost the time when I want to buy something, I expecting before. It's my cat. Uh, with the comparative price, and then when I check online impression, I go to the store, and then I say, okay, the more cheap is that,
There you go.
and it's good. It's good because it's good for me,
Okay.
and I bought.
You
Yeah.
feel good? Okay. Yeah. I know some people love to research and look and compare. So, Cairo, is that you? Cairo, do you take like 6 weeks to research comparing prices?
No, I won't take that much time, but yeah, I compare a lot
So,
before
how
I
long?
buy it.
Like 2 days, 3 days?
Yeah, just a couple of days,
Okay.
maybe.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, some people love to research stuff. They love it. All right.
But one good idea, Mr. Jones, sorry. One good idea is buy when you know isn't a special in the
That's true.
store,
Yeah.
like Amazon or Black Friday or Monday Cyber Monday or something like that, because you
Yeah.
buy more cheap.
That's right. If you wait for those special sales. Now, of course, anymore, you can find it just about anywhere on sale, right? Yeah. So, okay. Let's see. I think we have time maybe for maybe one more question. So let's see. All right, Edie, would you like to read the next question for us? All right, Edie, are you there? Would you like to read the next one for us? Well, he may be busy. Let's see. Patrick, are you available?
Yes.
Okay. Would you like to read the next question for us? Number 3 there.
Okay. People often end up in career that they maybe did not study or study
Study.
for. Study for. Did you end up in the career that you studied for?
Okay, so everyone think about that question. Did you all end up in the career you studied for? Now, for me, the answer is yes. I studied teaching in school, but not English. I studied to become a Spanish teacher. So, 75-25. But I think most people would agree I make a better English teacher than Spanish teacher. All right, so anybody else here in the class, you can use the chat. Did you end up in the career you studied for? So tell me, did you study for something and end up in that career? Okay. All right, I don't see any answers. So anybody? Okay, so Mal said he ended up in the career. Okay, good. Sometimes we don't. All right, Patrick, industrial engineering. Okay. All right, that's interesting. I didn't know that. All right, so Bo said he did. All right, Bo, what did you study? Was it like agriculture, horticulture, or something like that, like plants or something, botany?
Vehicle engineer.
Oh, well, wait a minute. I thought you were a gardener. I know you like gardening.
Yeah.
So what did you study? What was it,
Me?
Bo? Yeah.
Me? The engine,
So
vehicle engine,
so you like repairing and fixing or building?
design,
Wow.
produce.
Amazing. So can you build a car?
No, only the engine.
Well, but that's a good. We can start. Yeah.
We only majored on a part of the vehicle.
I gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's an important part.
Yes, I like it.
Okay, I like Kaoru's answer. She studied for international affairs, but she ended up as a chef. Well, Kaoru, maybe you have better chance at a job as a chef. I don't know. Well, I think Julie, you studied medicine, right? So you ended up
Yes.
as a doctor, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's interesting to find out about my students, what they studied in school or what they learned. So always interesting. All right. Okay. Well, guys, thanks for sharing your answers to some of our questions here this morning. So again, the idea, just like Patrick said in a few minutes ago, we have to practice using these expressions. Okay. So the idea is try to use these words, try to use these expressions in your everyday language. So again, when I share the document with all of the definitions, try to use them. That's the important thing for our lesson here today. Okay, well, guys, I have one more activity we're going to do to finish up our class this morning. It's a breakout activity. It's a little conversation that we're going to have with a small group. So let me go ahead and show you the activity here on the screen. Okay. So again, last week we talked a little bit about sports and activities. So I'm going to put us into a small group. I have 3 questions here on the screen, and you can take a few minutes to answer these questions with your partners. And again, looking at the different sports here, we discussed some of these already in class and last week. But of course, you can also talk about what sports and activities you like to do as well. So I'm going to stop sharing the screen. We're going to change the groups. Okay, so there you go, Edie. Yeah, I know Edie studied computer science. Okay, hopefully. So the idea is we're going to change the groups a little bit. That way we'll have some different groups to practice with. And then I will share the link to that activity in our groups. So I'm going to set up the breakout rooms, but I'm going to change the groups around. Okay. All right. I think we have groups that are different. Yeah. All right. So guys, we will go ahead and go into the breakout rooms. There will be 4 people in each group. This will be a good chance for some discussion. So I'm going to go ahead and get that changed around. Okay. All right, guys.
Yeah, we're back.
All right. I think almost everyone has returned. Okay.
Yeah, Mr. Young, we prepared a meeting with the Kaoru restaurant.
Sounds good. All right. So Kaoru, get ready.
Yes, thank you.
Maybe she's changing her mind. Okay. Hey, guys, with the few minutes we have left, let's just review the fall schedule real quickly. Now, the good news is nothing really is going to change. So let me go ahead and bring this back up here on the screen. So first off, for this particular class, we will continue basically the same schedule. And that will be Tuesdays and Thursdays. And again, the class will be from 10 to 11:30. We also offer the same class again in the evenings. It will now be from 6:45 to 8:15. Now, finally, I did mention to the class that some students, not every student, but some students will receive an invitation to our advanced reading class, which will be available starting August 21st. Now, this class is specifically for students who are perhaps thinking about moving on to taking the GED, or perhaps thinking of moving on to begin taking classes at the next level, perhaps at the college. Now, I want to make sure everyone understands that I do not prepare students for the GED. I can help prepare you to, get ready for that level. But again, my focus is ESL. So my focus is working with students still learning English. So again, I will send out invitations to these particular classes very soon. And the idea is these classes are offered at special times during the year. So if you look carefully, let me zoom in here so you can see. Let me erase the screen. If you look carefully here, the morning session is from August 21st to September 28th, or those 4 or 5 weeks. And then the second session is October 15th to November 29th. This is something new we're trying for this year. So if you are a student who is, interested in perhaps practicing for the GED, this will be a class that I think will be helpful. But the idea is we'll be focusing on reading skills and talking about reading and trying to improve our reading to help prepare for that test. So again, I will be sending out invitations to students very soon if you are, again, interested in participating in this class. This class will be Mondays and Wednesdays. Again, not for the whole semester. So just special times during the session. So I'll have a morning session from 10 to 11. But I'll also have an afternoon session from 6 to 7. Okay, so again, that is Mondays and Wednesdays. So one more time, guys, the fall session begins next week, August 14th, and runs through December 7th. This class will be offered at the same times that we've been offering them in the past, Tuesdays and Thursdays, 10 to 11:30, and again, 6:45 to 8:15. All right, so guys, do I have any questions about the schedule before we finish up here this morning? Questions?
So about the advanced reading, it's kind of helpful for like citizenship, or
it's probably too much for citizenship. You don't need that much for the citizenship class. Now, if you are a student who's getting ready to prepare for citizenship, you can send me an email. We do not offer citizenship classes anymore, but we will help students individually, like one-on-one.
Okay.
Because really, we just didn't have enough students all the time for citizenship. Sometimes we would have many, and sometimes we'd have nobody. So in this case, we feel it's better to help them individually.
So is this open some session or not? We didn't do it again.
For what?
Citizenship.
Well, again, we don't offer the class anymore. But if you're interested in citizenship, you can contact me.
Okay.
And like I said, we can set up a schedule to meet with students online to help them prepare. But again, I think, you'll see, I don't think it'll be that difficult to prepare for. Okay. All right, Bo, you're welcome, Amal. Bo, you have a question? Hello, Bo, you have a question?
Hi, I just want to know if it's you, Mr. John, give the lesson of advanced reading.
You mean, is it me, like right now? Am I a real person?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I am teaching the advanced reading class.
Okay, thank you. I got you.
All right, any other questions? 3, 2.
I don't have a question.
No
Just
question.
want to say thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. The summer session, I guess, is over at this point. Of course, next week we just start the fall, so it's kind of like no big change, right? No big difference. So, everyone, thank you so much for joining us here for our summer session. We will return to our Tuesday, Thursday schedule starting next Tuesday.